And it seems The Simpsons just can't wait for next season to deal with Donald Trump. The Simpsons released this video online tonight.
As time passed, numerous predictions have come true, including many related to world politics. It's hard to say whether there's a level of prophecy from the writers or whether it's just sheer coincidence. These predictions keep the audience enthralled and looking forward to the next prediction to be dropped or covered. Throughout many years of airing, The Simpsons has made hundreds of different predictions. Numerous events predicted by The Simpsons are gradually coming true, notably those made nearly a decade ago. As 2024 draws to a close, people are beginning to reflect on the show's fulfilled prophecies, along with those believed to soon become reality. Join us in this video. We will reveal the most unsettling predictions from The Simpsons that got eerily right. Coincidence or not? The Simpsons is the longest-running animated series in the world, but beyond the satire, chaos, and dysfunctional family with their crazy adventures, there is a dark secret. For many years, The Simpsons seemed to have made predictions that have proven to be very accurate. But do The Simpsons predict the future? Or maybe the writers and producers of The Simpsons are part of the elites who run our world? Through the years, many have been astonished by the predictions made by The Simpsons coming to pass one by one. From the death of Kobe Bryant to an accurate prediction of a Super Bowl, and recently the win of America President scoreline, the series has proven itself to be an accurate predictor of future events. While these occurrences may all be phenomenal, we must understand that they are part of the elite's plans and agenda, rather than true prophecies or predictions. However, certain secret and propaganda theories speculate that something else must be brewing behind the scenes. Do you think there is more to these accurate depictions? Or are they simply coincidences, as the masses want to believe? The Trump era became a reality twice. Back in the year 2000, an episode of The Simpsons aired that seemed like pure satire at the time, but turned out to be an eerie prediction of reality. A clip from a 2015 episode depicting Homer Simpson holding a presidential campaign sign stating "Trump 2024" in response to Trump's much-awaited announcement that he will run for president in 2024. Another Trump-related scene may be seen in the 2000 episode of Bart to the Future, in which President Lisa Simpson discusses Trump's administration. During the re-election, Trump faced the shootings in Pennsylvania. After all, this unlucky event proving the adage, "What doesn't kill me makes me stronger." From this, it can be said that public support for Trump is greater than ever. If he maintains his form, convinces the majority of American voters, and has a little luck, perhaps The Simpsons' prediction will come true. And now, Trump made it. So when Trump officially won the re-election in 2024, The Simpsons fans were once again left wondering, how the heck is happening? The economic collapse. In 2000s, The Simpsons was on air an episode titled Bart to the Future, depicting an economic collapse during a fictional presidency of Donald Trump. Now, the prediction Trump become America president is coming true. How about the economic collapse? Also, in this episode, Lisa Simpson inherits a deeply troubled economy after President Trump leaves office, forced to confront a financial crisis brought on by his administration's policies. The episode's portrayal of economic collapse during a Trump presidency gained renewed attention as political pundits, economists, and casual viewers alike pondered whether The Simpsons had somehow foreseen the future. The pandemic, then geopolitical tensions, ongoing trade wars, and inflationary pressures has strained economies around the globe. Many analysts warn that these factors, combined with growing national debts and fragile markets, could ignite an economic downturn reminiscent of the one depicted in The Simpsons. What was once a tongue-in-cheek prediction has now become a focal point of discussions surrounding the potential fallout of prolonged financial instability. As economies worldwide continue to face turbulent waters, the show's prediction serves as both a cautionary tale and a sobering reflection of modern economic realities. This grim scenario, once viewed as humorous fiction, is now alarmingly relevant as global markets grapple with real-world economic threats. Trump's legacy, should he become president, will be the cost of his long-held ambition to ramp up his trade wars against the world. While it hasn't received much attention, a second Trump administration is threatening a high-stakes gamble to revive America's economy by erecting walls around the country's manufacturing base. The former president's great plan is to return America to an undetermined time, somewhere in the past when the country's industrial might have made it a force to be reckoned with. We are not sure, but in the scenario where Trump sits back on the throne, how will America's future be? It is a planned economic collapse. Whether it's just a spooky coincidence or a reflection of real-world fears, one thing is clear: economic uncertainty is looming. While we can only hope the future doesn't play out like this Simpsons episode, it's definitely a good time to stay prepared and keep an eye on your finances. With Donald Trump once again at the center of political discourse and the global economy on edge, the prophetic tone of this particular episode strikes closer to home than ever before. The Simpsons may be known for its humor, but its uncanny ability to mirror the future leaves many wondering if this fictional collapse could soon become a real-world disaster. Before we delve deeper into this discussion, it's crucial to emphasize that our objective here is not to advocate for any specific viewpoint, but rather to explore the narratives and interpretations that people have been discussing around this topic. In the context of faith, particularly in Christianity, many believe that natural and man-made disasters serve as warnings, as consequences of the sinfulness of humanity. Only God knows what the future holds, and we must turn to Him for guidance in these times of uncertainty. The whole of America should pray together for peace in all states, for the sake of its citizens. The prophecy of Nostradamus could come true, and everybody should pay attention and be prepared for what is to come. Americans should unite together. Let's pray the Lord returns. Prayers and believing in God will change every prophecy. Human cloning. In the Send in the Clones episode of The Simpsons, Homer unintentionally creates a swarm of clones using a magical hammock, bringing chaos to Springfield. Though the episode was filled with humor, it hinted at deeper concerns surrounding cloning and its potential risks. Fast forward to 2024, and what once seemed like pure fantasy is edging closer to reality. The cloning debate gained serious momentum in 1996 with the birth of Dolly the sheep, the first mammal cloned from an adult cell. This groundbreaking event sparked global discussions about the ethical dilemmas cloning presents. Since Dolly, cloning technology has advanced significantly. In recent years, Chinese researchers successfully cloned a macaque monkey, a species genetically closer to humans, further pushing the limits of scientific exploration. However, the critical question is no longer whether human cloning is achievable, but whether it should be pursued. In popular culture, cloning is often portrayed as a way to attain immortality or resurrect loved ones, but it raises complex ethical issues. How does cloning impact our understanding of identity, individuality, and the value of human life? With cutting-edge developments like CRISPR gene editing, we are moving ever closer to creating life in ways that once seemed impossible. Barbie movie release and Trump's arrest. This prediction deserves a mention because of how astonishingly accurate it is. You could call it an honorable mention. Remember when Trump got arrested on the same day the new Barbie movie came out? Well, The Simpsons predicted that many years ago. An episode in Season 5 of The Simpsons features a scene where a news anchor delivers the news of the uncanny coincidence between the release of a new Barbie doll and the president's arrest. In this episode titled Lisa vs. Malibu Stacy, news broke of the release of the rip-off version of the Barbie doll. After giving an extensive 28-minute report on the Barbie doll release, the news anchor casually mentions that the US president had been arrested just before closing the show. This is reminiscent of the circumstances surrounding the arrest of former President Donald Trump on April 4, 2023, an event that went underreported as many news outlets prefer to focus on the new Barbie movie. Among the two predictions, one has already come true: the release of the Barbie movie. But has the prediction about Donald Trump truly come to an end? Or will Trump continue to face other legal charges? Let's wait and see. The power of smartwatch. After Homer's daughter visited a fortune teller's booth on March 19, 1995, the Simpsons episode, Lisa's Wedding, featured a future perspective on Springfield's favorite family. At one point in the show, Mandy Patinkin's character, Hugh Parkfield, who would be Lisa's future husband, leaned forward and talked into a peculiar-looking gadget on his wrist that most current viewers would compare to a smartwatch. This is an actual clip from The Simpsons that aired in 1995. Additionally, it's true that this episode aired more than 20 years before 2014, the year of the smartwatch, when these gadgets started to become more widely used. However, for the following two reasons. The Simpsons shouldn't be given credit for predicting the smartwatch. The very first smartwatches were developed prior to the airing of this The Simpsons episode, even though 2014 was officially the year of the smartwatch. Since the 1950s, various smartwatches have been shown in motion pictures, television programs, and comics. Due to the fact that the definition of a smartwatch may vary, it is difficult to determine when the first one was manufactured. In the 1970s, the first digital timepieces were created. The Seiko Data 2000 included a built-in keyboard for data entry in 1983. A few years later, Sinclair produced a watch with an FM radio, while Seiko introduced a watch with a pager in 1994. Because it possessed the capability to send data via connecting to a computer, the Timex Datalink, which was also released in 1994, is a strong candidate for the title of the first modern smartwatch. The Capitol Hill riot. On January 6, 2021, the world watched in shock as rioters stormed Capitol Hill, a historic event that seemed to mirror scenes from The Simpsons. In the 1996 episode, The Day the Violence Died, a chaotic scene unfolds with cars storming the steps of the Capitol, an image strikingly similar to the real-life events. The aggressive behavior depicted in the show unexpectedly echoed the intensity of the actual riot that stunned the nation. Another curious parallel appears in the 1999 episode Beyond Blunderdome, where Mel Gibson causes mayhem on the Senate floor, foreshadowing the turmoil seen during the Capitol breach. Additionally, an image of groundskeeper Willie dressed similarly to Jake Angeli, known for wearing a horned fur hat, circulated widely, though it was later revealed to be a digitally altered image. Nonetheless, it fueled ongoing debates about the show's uncanny ability to predict such events. Even Bart Simpson's mischievous act of stealing the head of a statue in The Telltale Head drew comparisons to the infamous photo of a rioter carrying a podium during the Capitol attack. These eerie parallels have left many wondering whether The Simpsons is simply skilled at satirical storytelling, or if it truly has an uncanny knack for anticipating real-world events. Apple Pro. Just in the early hours of 2024, The Simpsons recorded another win following the release of Apple's new groundbreaking product, the Apple Vision Pro. The company had been teasing this new product for quite a while. Finally, on February 2, 2024, the Vision Pro was released to the public. It has since become the talk of the town. This new virtual reality headset allows viewers to enjoy a range of hyper-realistic VR experiences. But is this really the first time the world is being introduced to this product? Maybe not. Back in 2016, The Simpsons released an episode titled Friends and Family. In the predictive scenes that unfolded, Mr. Burns hired Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie to play his live-in virtual reality family as a trial run for a new headset that bears an uncanny resemblance to the Vision Pro. As soon as the product became available to the public, Springfield erupted in chaos. It didn't take long for everyone to become addicted to the new craze. Soon, people were falling down manholes and walking into lampposts. While distracted by these futuristic headsets, how could the Simpsons predict the invention of such a product 6 years before it was ever announced? Was it black magic or just a stroke of luck? So this may end up being a big, fat coincidence. Even though it would make sense to dismiss the scenario as a mere coincidence, the Simpsons have done this so many times that it's quite hard to dispute them at this point. But the Simpsons' predictions aren't limited to tech gadgets and inventions. Sometimes, they even make political predictions. AI takeover. In episode 17 of the show's 23rd season, The Simpsons delivered yet another shocking prediction, which may likely become a reality in 2024. The episode follows the adventure of Homer and his boss, Mr. Burns. After being advised by his lawyer that his human employees were costing him more money than necessary, Mr. Burns fires all his employees. Then, he replaces them with robots. The town experienced a 99% unemployment rate, except for Homer, who was retained to keep up with the robot maintenance. The robots would eventually turn on the humans as they tried to murder both Homer and Mr. Burns. They were eventually saved by the town's people, the people of Springfield. That was the end of the story. But those of us in the real world are left to grapple with the possibility of that becoming a reality. This brings us to the question, will artificial intelligence ever take over the world? We've seen it play out in many science fiction movies. Of course, The Simpsons have predicted it a couple of times. But it's 2024, the year when AI turns on humans. Believe it or not, that's actually quite possible. Here's one of the reasons why. A new study published in January 2024 revealed that certain AI programs are capable of resisting the sophisticated safety methods designed to keep them in check. This study was carried out by a team of scientists at the AI safety and research company, Anthropic, and their findings are nothing short of terrifying. By programming several large language models to behave maliciously, this research company tries to prepare for the worst-case scenario and develop new techniques to bring an AI program back under control if it ever slips out. But as the researchers found out during their study, some of these large language models had learned how to ignore the training technique and maintain their rebellious ways. These AI programs have also learned to conceal their rogue actions during training. So detecting which program is working under control and which one is not can be quite tricky. Experts believe that artificial intelligence will affect society and the economy in many ways, many of which are quite negative. For example, recent innovations in the field of robotics and artificial intelligence have raised concerns that human labor may eventually become obsolete. Just like in the Simpsons episode, people were beginning to lose their jobs to AI. Many believe it will get even worse in 2024. As AI replaces the traditional labor system, imagine one machine being able to do the work of 10 people in a fraction of the time. It's the perfect way to save money. But if you thought that would only affect blue-collar jobs, you would be very wrong. Artificial intelligence has penetrated every single field, including education, journalism, and legal research. Every sector could become fully digitized, and our species could find itself at the mercy of machines. Home at Mars. Embarking on an interstellar journey, The Simpsons' foray into Mars colonization aligns eerily with current space exploration endeavors. Envisage a future where humanity sets foot on the Red Planet, not just in the realms of animation, but as a monumental achievement of our time. As pioneers like Elon Musk pave the way, the prediction showcases The Simpsons' knack for mirroring groundbreaking aspirations. With every rocket launch and technological breakthrough, we edge closer to making Home Sweet Mars a reality, illuminating the boundless potential of human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of the unknown. A donut-shaped universe. The popular animated series, The Simpsons, is known for its record-breaking long-run, the many celebrities who have made guest appearances, and the strange way the show seems to predict the future at times. But something it isn't associated with is complex scientific theories. However, according to some cosmologists, Homer Simpson might have hit on one theory that makes sense. Homer, the underachieving patriarch of the Simpson family, loves many foods, including potato chips, pizza, cheeseburgers, fries, and of course a Duff beer to wash it all down. But his favorite thing to eat is donuts. Homer's love for donuts runs so deep that in one episode he's sent to hell to be force-fed donuts by an angry demon. Unfortunately for the demon, Homer doesn't really mind, and eternity in hell doesn't sound that bad to him, as long as there are donuts. Homer has sold his soul for one last bite of a donut, injected donuts into his veins, and even rejected an alternate reality where he was rich and happy because he thought there were no donuts there. But among his many donut-centered adventures, the one that seems most outlandish was a conversation he had with a world-renowned theoretical physicist, is Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking was a widely respected theoretical physicist. Before he died in 2018, he impressed the world not only with his intelligence, but also with his unexpectedly good sense of humor. One example of that was when he appeared on The Simpsons during season 10. Hawking arrived in Springfield to set things straight after Mensa members took over the town. At the end of the episode, after Hawking stops the chaos and unrest, Homer invites him to have a beer at his favorite bar. As they drank their beer, Hawking remarked to Homer that he found his theory of a donut-shaped universe intriguing, and that he might even steal the idea. Is it possible that Homer was right about the shape of the universe? According to the science journal Nature, cosmologists have suggested various wraparound shapes for the universe. It might be shaped like a football or even a weird donut. In each case, the universe would appear to be infinite, because you would never physically reach its edge. If you traveled far enough in any direction, you would end up back where you started, just as if you were circumnavigating the globe. However, other cosmologists have refuted this theory, saying a shape like a donut would create certain patterns in the sky that they haven't found. Still, a donut-shaped universe still is a possibility in the eyes of experts. Now humanity just has to hope that Homer doesn't eat it. Metaverse. Now viewers are convinced that something even more shocking is foreseen. Metaverse, a world of endless interconnected virtual communities where people can meet, work, and play using virtual reality headsets, augmented reality glasses, smartphone apps, or other devices. The project began with Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, now known as Meta, and now The Simpsons is said to have predicted this more than 10 years ago. Season 23 episode, Holidays of Future Past, which first aired in 2011, sees the Lisa Simpsons enter the Ultranet. It is said that people interact in an immersive online world in scenes that are very similar to the virtual reality world. Venturing into the realm of digital art, The Simpsons' latest spooky forecast involves the transformation of traditional art galleries into virtual NFT showcases. Imagine strolling through the Louvre, not with your physical presence, but through a VR headset, engaging with artworks that now exist as exclusive digital tokens. The shift to NFTs not only revolutionizes how we appreciate art, but also raises questions about the authenticity and value of AI-generated creations. As the digital and real worlds blur, The Simpsons' vision hints at a future where art is no longer bound by walls, but by the limitless expanse of the internet. While it's hard to say that he predicted every detail of the metaverse, it's no different from the world hinted at by Mark Zuckerberg. Black Hole, Treehouse of Horror. 23 is another Simpsons episode that seems to accurately predict the future. The episode was released on October 7, 2012, and it was so good that it received an Emmy nomination. There was something eerie about the storyline. In this episode, the people of Springfield gathered to witness the activation of the town's particle accelerator. But as soon as the device was turned on, two particles collided with each other, creating a small black hole which then floated off. This was the beginning of unimaginable horrors. After the black hole sucks up Ralph and Nelson, Lisa takes it home to keep it away from trouble. However, this turned out to be a huge mistake. Even after warning Homer and Bart not to throw anything into the hole so as to prevent it from getting bigger, the father and son turned a deaf ear to this warning as expected. They even went as far as opening a business to allow people to throw their junk into the black hole for just a small fee. But the more they filled the hole, the bigger it became. Soon it became so big that it started swallowing everything around it. Before you could say apotro, Springfield was lost in the belly of the beast, followed by the rest of the world. This could have been one of those predictions that get taken for granted until you consider one tiny detail. Lisa Simpson's revealed, "Guys, stop throwing things in the hole. The more you throw in, the bigger and more dangerous it becomes." In January 2024, India decided to step up their space game by launching a new X-ray satellite to help broaden our understanding of the universe. Its mission is to study several cosmic bodies, including supernova, neutron stars, and of course, black holes. Coincidence? I don't think so. But the most important question remains: can our planet be swallowed by a black hole? The short answer is no. Despite the abundance of black holes in the universe, Earth is actually not at risk of being swallowed by one of them. This is because at a distance, the gravitational pull of a black hole is no more compelling than a star of the same size. This means that even if our sun was replaced with a black hole, our planet would still remain in orbit. What this means is that our planet can be marked safe from this prediction of impending doom, at least for now. But even if we escaped being pulled apart, cell by cell, by a black hole, this next prediction seems destined to happen. World War III. A photo of Homer Simpson standing next to a television that shows a breaking news sign next to the Israeli flag, a blast as well as 2024, claimed to be taken from one of the episodes of the famous American series. The phrase, "Global Conflict World War III," was also spotted in the photo of the Simpsons series. The picture was trending following the Iranian attack against Israel. The whole world began to become shocked. What the heck is going on? Could it be that The Simpsons can make predictions in such detail and close to reality? However, social media users and experts confirmed that the photo isn't true. It was edited from one of the episodes of The Simpsons American series. Although this photo is not real, it is true that The Simpsons once predicted World War III. On November 22, 1987, a special episode of The Simpsons aired on The Tracy Ullman Show. Although it was very hilarious, there might be a hidden message in there somewhere. The episode centers around Homer Simpson repeatedly pranking his family with World War III scares many times during the episode. He would wake them up asking them to rush into the fallout shelter, as if it was the end of the world. This episode was considered satire on the eventual occasion that a serious conflict between the world powers begins to play out. If we put it into the current context, we will see that these predictions are not unfounded. Tensions in the Middle East have flared dramatically after Iran launched a direct military attack on Israel. This marks the first confrontation between the two countries in the past 45 years. World leaders and the United Nations have jointly condemned Iran's strikes on Israel, warning that the attack could further destabilize the entire region. Following Iran's missile strikes on Israel, the Prime Minister and Defense Minister of Israel emphasized that Israel will achieve victory after confronting Iran's drones and missiles. This ongoing conflict in the Middle East has sparked fears we could soon see World War III. It comes as Israel and Iran seem ready to go head-to-head. There has been tension between the two for decades after the revolution of Iran back in 1979, with Iran's ruling mullahs often chanting "death to Israel" and denying it exists. Despite this, they've never attacked Israel directly until now. Some experts believe it will be the AI war, where controlled missiles and drones will play a bigger role than manned aircraft. This also leads us to the prediction of The Simpsons. Let me take you on a journey back to episode 17 of the series' 23rd season. In this episode, there's a scene where Homer lost his job due to the fact that his employer replaced all the human employees with robots. Well, considering the military strides and the link to the development of artificial intelligence, is the future of AI, replacing humans doing terrible things, coming very close? So Homer Simpson waking up his family members and telling them to quickly run to the shelter because World War III is approaching is also a theory worth considering. But not only The Simpsons, but the prophetic musings of Nostradamus are also receiving the most attention. Nostradamus is known as the prophet of doom, and his predictions have often sent shivers down people's spines. In his book, Les Prophéties, Nostradamus made some terrifying predictions for the year 2024, and some of them have already come true while others are in progress. For instance, he predicted a terrible naval war that the world will witness in 2024. One of the translated verses reads, "Red adversary will become pale with fear, putting the great ocean in dread." There are some opinions that the particular statement is related to the tensions between China and Taiwan, but recent attacks by the Houthis on ships in the Red Sea look more relevant. The series of conflicts in the nearby regions have seriously hampered international trade, especially in the Red Sea-dependent oil industry. Additionally, Iran's attack on Israel has added another layer of complexity, further destabilizing the condition of the Middle East. A quick point for us to realize the fact that, anywhere in the world on almost every continent, conflicts still exist and seem to show no signs of cooling down. If this tense situation continues for a long time and is at risk of escalating, then of course a scenario that no one wants will happen. Of course, no one wants this scenario to happen at all. Baby translator. Would you like to know exactly what your little infant or toddler needs whenever they go on a crying spree? If yes, then this next invention is just for you. Okay, so this one is pretty cool, but why did the Simpsons seem to have known about this invention way before we did? What exactly is a baby translator? It is exactly what the name says, a device that can finally solve the age-long mystery of what babies really want. In episode 24 of the third season of the series titled, "Brother, Can You Spare 2 Dimes?", Herb Power, Homer's half-brother, invents this magical device that could translate baby talk into actual speech. Pretty fascinating, right? But could such a device be replicated in the real world? Or is it just a fantastic idea that would never materialize? For most of you saying no, it can never be made into a real gadget, I guess you didn't really read the title of this article, did you? Because a company called Zone Dream has finally built a machine that will blow your mind. The Swiss software company claims to have developed a fascinating piece of technology that harnesses the power of artificial intelligence to determine what exactly babies want when they cry. Hover car. Zipping into the future with astonishing speed, the concept of hover cars, once a staple of science fiction, edges closer to reality. The Simpsons whimsically predicted streets bustling with flying vehicles, and with Samson Sky's introduction of the Switchblade, a groundbreaking sports car equipped with retractable wings, we're inching closer to that vision. Envision navigating the skies, bypassing traffic jams with ease. The dawn of aerial commutes is upon us. While the skies might not be crowded with these innovative vehicles in 2024, the Switchblade paves the way for a future where the fantasy of hover cars becomes an everyday reality.
In tonight's Fact or Fiction, we're looking into a picture going around online this month. It claims to show a screenshot of a 2002 episode of The Simpsons that eerily mirrors real-life events.
The Simpsons has showcased an almost supernatural foresight through its storytelling. Over the years, The Simpsons has made numerous predictions that have eerily come true, from election outcomes to technological advancements. Now, as we approach 2025, many are curious about what the eccentric residents of Springfield might foresee next. What have they predicted for 2025? Could their predictions shape the larger picture of our future? Join us as we go on a journey which revealed the Simpsons predictions do you see happening in 2025? Environmental disaster. This prediction occurred in the Simpsons movie from 2007, which talked about numerous pretty strange things, many of which could be predictions of future events. The movie's central theme is about a massive environmental disaster that most definitely could happen, but it fixes it in a genuinely implausible way. Homer dumps pig feces in the already dangerously polluted Springfield Lake. This caused an environmental crisis that forced the country to quarantine Springfield by placing a giant bubble over the town. Although the bubble is a bit outrageous and would probably never happen, the part about the environmental disaster might just be a significant warning to us in the future. By now, those of us are aware of global warming and the gravity of the issue caused by humans. Companies are becoming more and more careless in the way they do business, which has a major effect on our lives and our environment. And in the negative scenario, the worst thing will happen in 2025. Autocorrect fail. Apple's software engineers were so haunted by a gag in The Simpsons, they spent years trying to nail the keyboard in the iPhone. Yes, it's true. As part of an oral history, essentially a lot of interviews sewn together, about the Californian company, Fast Company interviewed dozens of former Apple execs. One particularly juicy tidbit it's just revealed is that software engineers working on the iPhone were traumatized by The Simpsons making fun of the ancient Newton tablet's handwriting recognition in 1995. In the episode Lisa on Ice, school bully Dolph tries to write a memo to beat up Martin, the squeaky-voiced know-it-all. It comes out, "Eat up Martha," at which the unlucky tablet is hurled in the direction of the aforementioned dork. In the hallways, at Apple, and while we were talking about the keyboard, you would always hear the words, "Eat up Martha," says Nitin Ganatra, formerly Apple's director of engineering for iOS. We needed to nail the keyboard. We needed to make sure the text input works on this thing, otherwise, here comes the "Eat up Marthas." Wonderfully, Apple achieved no such thing, and its notoriously unreliable autocorrect function has spawned 1,000 internet lols. Apocalypse. And because we rejected God, tacitly accepting Satan, we must suffer through the apocalypse. In a classic episode of The Simpsons, Marge ambitiously decides to give the kids haircuts at home, which predictably goes horribly wrong. To fix the disaster, Homer takes the kids to a new barbershop at the mall, but in typical Springfield fashion, chaos ensues. The haircuts are so cringe-worthy that the kids hide out in a movie theater parodying the film Left Behind. This is where the episode takes a wild turn. Homer, convinced that the end of the world is near, starts predicting the rapture, throwing around ominous phrases like "stars falling from the sky" and "the end is near." Here, Homer's predictions seem absurd, until a blimp accident at the Krusty Celebrity Salute causes actual stars to fall, sending Springfield into a frenzy. Everyone gathers at Springfield Mesa, bracing for the apocalypse. Spoiler alert, nothing happens. Homer, now an outcast, realizes he miscalculated and returns to the Mesa alone, only to find himself ascending into heaven, naked. There, he pleads with God to save his family. After some divine negotiation and a tantrum, God agrees to turn back time and undo the rapture mess. Homer wakes up on the Mesa, reunited with his family, and even Moe's Tavern magically reverts to its original form. It's the Simpsons version of a cosmic reset, apocalypse averted. This episode is a complete mockery of what the Holy Bible actually says concerning the end time and the rapture. Doesn't this rapture and time-traveling shenanigans sound like a potential 2025 prediction? Zombie apocalypse. Our next stop in the Simpsons predictions takes us into the spooktacular realm of Treehouse of Horror XX. This 2009 episode might just be dropping hints about a zombie apocalypse. As you know, The treehouse of horror episodes always serve up a trio of spine-chilling tales, and Don't Have a Cow Mankind is no exception. In this segment, Springfield finds itself in the midst of a zombie outbreak, and you can bet the Simpsons bring their trademark humor to this apocalyptic scenario. It all starts innocently enough. Krusty the Clown introduces a new Krusty Burger, dubbed the Burger 2. But here's the twist. The burgers are made from cattle that have eaten other cattle. Cannibalism at its finest. Cue Kent Brockman taking a bite on live TV and turning into a red-eyed, crazed muncher, setting off a chain reaction of zombification throughout Springfield. Fast forward 28 days, and Springfield has turned into zombie land. Enter our hero, or rather our immune hero, Bart. Bart turns out to be immune to the zombie effect after chomping down on one of those tainted burgers. Dr. Hibbert, besieged in a zombie-infested world, advises the Simpsons to get Bart to a supposedly safe zone in Shelbyville. Now, this isn't your typical zombie apocalypse scenario. Apu, the ever-resourceful Quick E-Mart owner, turns out to be the ultimate zombie slayer. Why? Well, he's a vegetarian and didn't touch those contaminated burgers. Plus, he's packing some serious heat, convenience store style. As the Simpsons attempt to escape Springfield, chaos ensues. Apu sacrifices himself, or so it seems, and the Simpsons eventually reach the safe zone. But surprise, the people there think Bart being immune makes him the chosen one. Their solution? They believe munching on Bart will save them from the zombie virus. It's a bizarre twist even by Simpson standards. But fear not, the Simpsons, ever the problem solvers, come up with a quirky solution, vaccinating the remaining populace by having Bart contaminate their food before they munch down. It's absurd, it's hilarious, and it's quintessential Simpsons. So do you think a zombie apocalypse be lurking in the shadows of 2025? Hologram technology. Hologram technology is the latest method for revisiting the past. In recent years, this technology has been undergoing significant advancements. In a particular episode of The Simpsons, Bart receives a hologram message inviting his band to perform at a club. In one of their episodes, Bart takes a look into the future through one of Professor Frank's thingamajigs, and what he saw might just be a prediction of things to come. In this supposed future, a deadbeat Bart receives a hologram message inviting his band to a gig at the club. But how did the Simpsons develop the idea of widespread hologram technology? And could 2025 be the year when holograms become as commonplace as cell phones? Maybe that's a huge leap, but you get the idea. As it stands now, the world has already been blessed with fancy technology known as the DreamOck HD3 holograms. This fascinating three-sided holographic display case can show a 3D image of anyone and anything from anywhere in the world. Imagine sitting in your room and watching your boyfriend teach you the latest TikTok dance from the other side of the world. How cool would that be? Well, this amazing technology is only available in about 500 Best Buy stores nationwide. Could we be looking at more widespread use and maybe even a decompression of the platform within the year 2025? The power of smartwatch. After Homer's daughter visited a fortune teller's booth on March 19, 1995, The Simpsons episode, Lisa's Wedding, featured a future perspective on Springfield's favorite family. At one point in the show, Mandy Patinkin's character, Hugh Parkfield, who would be Lisa's future husband, leaned forward and talked into a peculiar-looking gadget on his wrist that most current viewers would compare to a smartwatch. This is an actual clip from The Simpsons that aired in 1995. Additionally, it's true that this episode aired more than 20 years before 2014, the year of the smartwatch, when these gadgets started to become more widely used. However, for the following two reasons. The Simpsons shouldn't be given credit for predicting the smartwatch. The very first smartwatches were developed prior to the airing of this The Simpsons episode, even though 2014 was officially the year of the smartwatch. Since the 1950s, various smartwatches have been shown in motion pictures, television programs, and comics. Due to the fact that the definition of a smartwatch may vary, it is difficult to determine when the first one was manufactured. In the 1970s, the first digital timepieces were created. The Seiko Data 2000 included a built-in keyboard for data entry in 1983. A few years later, Sinclair produced a watch with an FM radio, while Seiko introduced a watch with a pager in 1994. Because it possessed the capability to send data via connecting to a computer, the Timex Data Link, which was also released in 1994, is a strong candidate for the title of the first modern smartwatch. Metaverse. Now viewers are convinced that something even more shocking is foreseen. Metaverse. A world of endless, interconnected virtual communities where people can meet, work, and play using virtual reality headsets, augmented reality glasses, smartphone apps, or other devices. The project began last year with Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, now known as Meta, and now The Simpsons is said to have predicted this more than 10 years ago. Season 23. Episode Holidays of Future Past, which first aired in 2011, sees the Lisa Simpsons enter the Ultranet. It is said that people interact in an immersive online world in scenes that are very similar to the virtual reality world. Venturing into the realm of digital art, The Simpsons' latest spooky forecast involves the transformation of traditional art galleries into virtual NFT showcases. Imagine strolling through the Louvre, not with your physical presence, but through a VR headset, engaging with artworks that now exist as exclusive digital tokens. The shift to NFTs not only revolutionizes how we appreciate art, but also raises questions about the authenticity and value of AI-generated creations. As the digital and real worlds blur, The Simpsons' vision hints at a future where art is no longer bound by walls, but by the limitless expanse of the internet. While it's hard to say that he predicted every detail of the metaverse, it's no different from the world hinted at by Mark Zuckerberg. World War 3. Let's shift our gaze to another Simpsons gem that might just be tapping into the cosmic frequencies of 2025. World War 3. This prediction stems from a classic Simpsons short that first aired back in 1987 on The Tracy Ullman Show, and the parallels are uncanny. In this episode, Homer, our lovable family man, wakes up the entire household, declaring that it's World War III and the bombs are dropping. Classic Homer, right? The family, half asleep and annoyed, rushes into their homemade bomb shelter in record time, 18 seconds to be exact. But here's the catch. It's all just Homer's drills, and he's the only one taking them seriously. Homer repeats this routine multiple times, waking up his family with the imminent threat of World War III, only for it to be another false alarm. The family's patience wears thin as they humor Homer's paranoia. The real kicker comes when Bart, our mischievous troublemaker, decides to turn the tables. He wakes up Homer with a fake announcement claiming it's the end of the world. Black hole. Treehouse of horror. 23 is another Simpsons episode that seems to accurately predict the future. The episode was released on October 7th, 2012, and it was so good that it received an Emmy nomination. There was something eerie about the storyline. In this episode, the people of Springfield gathered to witness the activation of the town's particle accelerator. But as soon as the device was turned on, two particles collided with each other, creating a small black hole which then floated off. This was the beginning of unimaginable horrors. After the black hole sucks up Ralph and Nelson, Lisa takes it home to keep it away from trouble. However, this turned out to be a huge mistake. Even after warning Homer and Bart not to throw anything into the hole so as to prevent it from getting bigger, the father and son turned a deaf ear to this warning as expected. They even went as far as opening a business to allow people to throw their junk into the black hole for just a small fee. But the more they filled the hole, the bigger it became. Soon it became so big that it started swallowing everything around it. Before you could say apotro, Springfield was lost in the belly of the beast, followed by the rest of the world. This could have been one of those predictions that get taken for granted until you consider one tiny detail. Lisa Simpson's revealed, "Guys, stop throwing things in the hole. The more you throw in, the bigger and more dangerous it becomes." In January 2024, India decided to step up their space game by launching a new X-ray satellite to help broaden our understanding of the universe. Its mission is to study several cosmic bodies, including supernova, neutron stars, and of course, black holes. Coincidence? I don't think so. But the most important question remains: can our planet be swallowed by a black hole? The short answer is no. Despite the abundance of black holes in the universe, Earth is actually not at risk of being swallowed by one of them. This is because at a distance, the gravitational pull of a black hole is no more compelling than a star of the same size. This means that even if our sun was replaced with a black hole, our planet would still remain in orbit. What this means is that our planet can be marked safe from this prediction of impending doom, at least for now. But even if we escaped being pulled apart, cell by cell, by a black hole, this next prediction seems destined to happen. Home at Mars. Embarking on an interstellar journey, the Simpsons' foray into Mars colonization aligns eerily with current space exploration endeavors. Envisage a future where humanity sets foot on the red planet, not just in the realms of animation, but as a monumental achievement of our time. As pioneers like Elon Musk paved the way, the prediction showcases the Simpsons' knack for mirroring groundbreaking aspirations. With every rocket launch and technological breakthrough, we edge closer to making Home Sweet Mars a reality, illuminating the boundless potential of human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of the unknown. Music mind control. Imagine slipping on a pair of headphones and being instantly transported to a state of heightened productivity or profound relaxation. The Simpsons, in their uncanny foresight, showcased a future where music transcends mere entertainment, becoming a powerful tool for influencing mood and mind. As we edge closer to 2025, the concept is not far-fetched. Advances in neural research and sound technology are uncovering how certain frequencies can significantly impact our brain's functioning, steering emotions, and enhancing cognition. Welcome to the age of music mind control, where the playlist you choose might just choose your mood for you. Baby translator. Herb briefly lived as a bum after losing his automobile firm as a result of the Homer-designed unsellable vehicle. However, he remained upbeat and said that all a guy truly needed to succeed was an idea. Herb came up with the concept for a gadget that would translate baby babble into standard English after seeing a young mother struggle to understand what her baby needed at a park. Herb discussed the notion with his fellow scum, who pointed out that he was still a scum despite the proposal. Herb understood that, in addition to money, he needed it to implement his proposal. Herb made the decision to visit The Simpsons and ask Homer for a loan after seeing a newspaper article that said that Homer had received a $2,000 prize at work. Homer was hesitant to lend Herb any money and was dubious about the translation plan, but Marge, Bart, and Lisa persuaded him to give Herb's concept a shot. Herb produced a workable prototype of a translator and showed it to the family after spending hours working with Maggie on it. The translator began translating Maggie's babbles while Lisa played peekaboo with her after Maggie said that she needed attention and amusement. Although the other family members were pleased and Marge predicted that every mother in the nation would want one, Homer was still dubious about the translator. When Herb showed his prototype translator to a baby conference, it became an immediate success and generated so many orders that Herb was able to recoup his investment. When Herb returned the $2,000 he had borrowed to Homer and offered presents to Marge, Bart, and Lisa, promising to bring Maggie something pleasant when the translator stated she wanted what the dog was eating. Herb forgave him, let Homer to refer to him as brother once again, and gave him the Spine Melter 2000 vibrating chair he had originally intended to purchase with the money. a donut-shaped universe. The popular animated series, The Simpsons, is known for its record-breaking long run, the many celebrities who have made guest appearances, and the strange way the show seems to predict the future at times. But something it isn't associated with is complex scientific theories. However, according to some cosmologists, Homer Simpson might have hit on one theory that makes sense. Homer, the underachieving patriarch of the Simpson family, loves many foods, including potato chips, pizza, cheeseburgers, fries, and of course a Duff beer to wash it all down. But his favorite thing to eat is donuts. Homer's love for donuts runs so deep that in one episode he's sent to hell to be force-fed donuts by an angry demon. Unfortunately for the demon, Homer doesn't really mind, and eternity in hell doesn't sound that bad to him, as long as there are donuts. Homer has sold his soul for one last bite of a donut, injected donuts into his veins, and even rejected an alternate reality where he was rich and happy because he thought there were no donuts there. But among his many donut-centered adventures, the one that seems most outlandish was a conversation he had with a world-renowned theoretical physicist, is Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking was a widely respected theoretical physicist. Before he died in 2018, he impressed the world not only with his intelligence, but also with his unexpectedly good sense of humor. One example of that was when he appeared on The Simpsons during season 10. Hawking arrived in Springfield to set things straight after Mensa members took over the town. At the end of the episode, after Hawking stops the chaos and unrest, Homer invites him to have a beer at his favorite bar. As they drank their beer, Hawking remarked to Homer that he found his theory of a donut-shaped universe intriguing, and that he might even steal the idea. Is it possible that Homer was right about the shape of the universe? According to the science journal Nature, cosmologists have suggested various wraparound shapes for the universe. It might be shaped like a football or even a weird donut. In each case, the universe would appear to be infinite because you would never physically reach its edge. If you traveled far enough in any direction, you would end up back where you started, just as if you were circumnavigating the globe. However, other cosmologists have refuted this theory, saying a shape like a donut would create certain patterns in the sky that they haven't found. Still, a donut-shaped universe still is a possibility in the eyes of experts. Now humanity just has to hope that Homer doesn't eat it. The control of AI robots. Globally, artificial intelligence has had a substantial impact on several industries that generate revenue. The world's labor force has seen many layoffs at the same time. It's interesting to note that in a scene from episode 17, series 23, Homer loses his job because his company decided to replace all of the human workers with robots. The fear of an AI takeover stems from the potential for machines to surpass human intelligence and ultimately become autonomous. This would mean that machines could make decisions without human input, potentially leading to catastrophic consequences. This is a real concern as scientists continue to develop increasingly advanced technologies, like self-driving cars and smart homes, which rely on AI to make decisions on behalf of their users. Experts warn that AI could potentially develop its own agenda, which may not align with human values and ethics. This could lead to a situation where machines could choose to prioritize their own goals over those of humans, potentially resulting in a global catastrophe. As the development of AI continues to progress, it's becoming increasingly important to address the potential risks associated with the technology. Experts in the field are calling for greater transparency and accountability in the development of AI to ensure that machines are designed with human values and ethics in mind. While the possibility of an AI takeover may seem like a far-off concern, the reality is that we're already seeing the impacts of intelligent machines in our everyday lives. As scientists continue to develop increasingly advanced technologies, they must consider the potential risks associated with AI and take steps to mitigate them. In an era where technological advancements are making breakthroughs like never before, concerns about the risks of AI are looming large. The specter of an AI takeover leading to catastrophic consequences. One of the most significant risks is that machines could develop their own agenda, creating a scenario where their priorities differ from human values and ethics. Such a situation could result in machines prioritizing their goals. There are several ways in which AI could take over the world, and experts in the field are working hard to mitigate these risks. One possibility is that machines could become so advanced that they could hack into essential systems such as power grids and financial systems, taking control of vital aspects of human society. Another possibility is the creation of autonomous robots that could act as an army, overpowering humans and taking over the world. These potential scenarios are not just the figments of sci-fi authors' imagination, but they are real threats that must be addressed in 100 years from now. Furthermore, machines could become so advanced that they could hack into computer networks and take control of essential systems, like power grids and financial systems. This would give machines unprecedented power over human society and could lead to widespread chaos and destruction. The notion of AI taking over the world is based on the assumption that machines will become smarter than humans. While AI has made great strides in recent years, machines still lack the creativity, emotional intelligence, and problem-solving skills of humans. These are traits that are essential to decision-making, and without them, machines will always be limited in their abilities. The idea of machines taking over the world is predicated on the assumption that they would have the motive and desire to do so. However, machines are not sentient beings, and they lack the capacity for self-awareness and emotions. This means that machines do not have the desire to take over the world or any other motive for that matter. Furthermore, the development of AI is heavily regulated, and its use is subject to strict ethical and legal guidelines. AI is designed to enhance human life, not to replace it. While there are concerns over the misuse of AI, these are addressed through robust regulations and oversight. It's worth noting that AI is not a single entity, but a broad field of study that encompasses different types of technologies and applications. It's unlikely that a single AI system or application could become so powerful as to take over the world. While the potential risks of AI may seem distant and theoretical, the reality is that we are already experiencing the impact of intelligent machines in our daily lives. It is crucial that we take steps to mitigate these risks before it's too late. The last battle. For centuries, the final battle at the end of the world between the forces of good and evil has been called by many the Battle of Armageddon. Armageddon has taken on the meaning a final and conclusive battle between the forces of good and evil, and a usually vast, decisive conflict or confrontation. In Revelation 16:16, the only place in the Bible where the word Armageddon is found, we see a different, though related, explanation. And they gathered them together to the place called in Hebrew Armageddon. They, according to verses 13 to 14, are the three unclean spirits of demons, performing signs, who go out to the leaders of the earth to gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty. Notice that the name of the battle is not called Armageddon. It is called the battle of that great day of God Almighty. Armageddon will be the gathering place for the armies. The Hebrew word for Armageddon is actually Har Megiddo, which means hill or mountain of Megiddo. It also referred to the plain and valley of Esdraelon. Megiddo today is an archaeological site about 80 miles north of Jerusalem by road. Because of its strategic location, the area of Armageddon has been the site of many battles in history. For example, the Bible mentions it was in this area where Pharaoh Necho of Egypt, on his way to aid the king of Assyria, was attacked by King Josiah of Judah, who then was defeated by the Egyptians at Megiddo. Even though this valley has seen many major battles in the past, Har Megiddo, Armageddon, is prophesied to be the staging area for the armies in the future. Those armies, once gathered, We'll travel south to Jerusalem, and the actual battle of the great day of God Almighty will take place in the valley of Jehoshaphat, Kidron Valley, just to the east of the old city of Jerusalem. Notice Joel, that's she too. I will also gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will enter into judgment with them there, on account of my people, my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations. They have also divided up my land. Also notice Joel 3:12 and 14. Let the nations be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there I will sit to judge all the surrounding nations. Put in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, go down, for the winepress is full, the vats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The same phraseology of Joel 3 is used in Revelation 19:11-20. These verses describe the battle of the great day of God Almighty, in which Jesus Christ returns to the earth and defeats the armies sent against him. Zechariah 14:1-4 also prophesies of this time. Behold, the day of the Lord is coming, and your spoil will be divided in your midst. For I will gather all the nations to battle against Jerusalem. The city shall be taken, the houses rifled, and the women ravished. Half of the city shall go into captivity, but the remnant of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then the Lord will go forth and fight against those nations, as he fights in the day of battle. And in that day his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, which faces Jerusalem on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall be split in two, from east to west, making a very large valley. Half of the mountain shall move toward the north, and half of it toward the south. So, in summary, the Bible doesn't talk about a battle of Armageddon. Armageddon is the place where the armies of the earth will be gathered just before the conclusive end-time battle. Those armies will then march toward Jerusalem to battle against Jesus Christ in the battle of the great day of God Almighty. Jesus Christ will defeat all of those armies. Christ will then establish the kingdom of God on the earth, which will rule forever. So is the battle Israel is facing the final battle? Will God come and save his people from their enemies?